Welcome to the Sigma Show, episode 44, with me, Sigma, your host. Before I let you know who is joining me today, real quick, we'll go over what our topics will be. First up, the Uncharted movie has got its first official trailer. We'll talk about how good or not good Tom Holland and, I was going to say Matt Damon, but it's Mark Wahlberg. I confuse them all the time. All the time. Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. We'll see how good they are in it, if anything. After that, we finally got an official release and trailers for the GTA remastered trilogy. It doesn't look like how I think some people expected, but we'll talk about, I guess, maybe the pros and cons of what that product is. And finally, God of War, the most recent version of it, is coming to PC. So Sony's arguably biggest first-party title is finally coming to PC. And we'll talk about what that means for Sony and games in general going forward. Here to talk with me about these things today are Rachel Kaiser.
Hey everyone, I'm a writer for GamesBeat, and yeah, I've been here before, so hopefully you all know who I am by now.
We all do. Jesse Galena, Rexicon Jesse.
Everybody, I know who you are, Rachel, and you're rad.
Rad Rachel Kaiser. That's what they call her.
That is what they call me, yes.
And also Superman Jeff is joining us.
Yep.
His catchphrase, never heard it anywhere before, Jeff.
Not in the land before time, not anywhere.
Ever.
We did start a tiny bit behind schedule. Jesse, you want to let everyone know why that's the case?
Yeah, I was desperately trying to get a crown in Fall Guys and failed miserably.
We were all rooting for him. we were like, do it, get it. And he let us all down.
Some of us more than others. Some of us more than others.
Lampy, quick with it, says hashtag Jeff lies. So just do with that what you will.
Lampy was ready to go with that one.
Yeah, he has that like on
Like I want to say he typed it before Jeff actually told that lie. So
Yeah, that was just on his clipboard.
before the stream started. He was like, "Let me just get this ready." That
But
is
to start-
Dan Ashy.
But to start things off, we have a small update for the Activision Blizzard situation. There haven't been any other major developments, not that I've seen at least. If there are, let me know. We're open to hearing them. But we heard some time ago that they'd be changing the name of a famous Overwatch character, Jesse McCree, being as how he shared a name with one of the employees implicated in that lawsuit. They finally unveiled that he will now be known as Cole Cassidy. What do you guys take, or how do you feel about this as a name for the character? Like, if you played the game at all, and about, just kind of replacing names in the game for this reason in general. You raised your hand, Rachel. You must have something you want to get off your chest, if not that Overwatch shirt.
I was about to say, off my chest? Yeah, you mean the Overwatch shirt?
Yep.
Well, first of all, now we know why I'm here, because every time there's an update on the Activision Blizzard situation, I feel like I've got to be here just to remind you all, nothing of value has been accomplished. So, yeah, McCree's got a new name. It's kind of a shame, because Jesse McCree actually is such a really good cowboy name.
Yeah, it's like a good medium between like a generic cowboy name and like a real person's name. Because weirdly enough, it was a real person's name.
Yeah, and Cole Cassidy, I'm not in love with yet. Cassidy, I guess, makes sense. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I'm not a huge fan of Cole. I feel like there could have been, but I think they only went for Cole because of the alliteration. I feel there are better first names that you could have put in front of that to evoke a cowboy image. But there have been hints in the game that Jesse McCree is not the character's actual name. But what's funny is Cole Cassidy sounds more like a name that somebody would adopt for a cowboy persona, and Jesse McCree sounds more like a real person's name. So they kind of flipped that a little bit there.
That does make sense. So, I mean, I didn't know that there was any hints that Jesse McCree wasn't his real name. Was that added later? Like, in order to try and sell this? Or that's always been in the game?
It's always been in the game. I mean, the way they are, it's things like Sombra, the hacker character, telling McCree, it's like, if that is indeed your real name, or something like that. Just little hints like that could easily be, if this had never gone anywhere, you could easily just say, well, that's just Sombra being Sombra, or, you know, there was also a hint that he was actually a blogger in the game. because that blogger had like an even more stereotypical cowboy name than Cole Cassidy. So there were hints in the game previously that wasn't his actual name. But again, Jesse McCree is the one that sounds like a real name, and Cole Cassidy is the one that sounds like a pseudonym. But I understand that this was probably done with the best intentions. Although I will say, I think probably the war room for the Jesse McCree name change was probably more intense and focused than the war room for the press response to the Activision Blizzard scandal.
You may have a point there.
That's my take on the company situation.
It's painfully accurate.
Well, I mean, I have not played a ton of Overwatch for some time before the scandal, but the scandal itself has really even dulled my anticipation for the sequel, which I was excited for a while. But yeah, I wonder, because people do this on the internet all the time. Like, they make a really big deal out of things that are generally small, and
No.
Jesse McCree's name matching that guy is kind of on the level of, all right, well, that's kind of a generic name anyway. Like, Jesse, we have a Jesse on the show. Like, it's it's a common name.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact that it was named after that man, like, they specifically was like, oh, let's name it after that man, does carry a little extra weight. And so changing it, I guess, is also for their peace of mind as well as, the actual fan base. Because, like, maybe people in the fan base wouldn't have cared at all if it just stayed the same, because they don't think of that guy. They only think of the character. Like, the character's more famous for them than that guy. But the people who are working on it would probably still have a bad taste in their mouth. So it does make sense that they would change it to something, anything.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad move. I just think it's completely performative. It's not the same as actually, like, making substantive change within the company that will ensure the real what the real Jesse McCree did never happens again.
Exactly. It's basically just for the game world, and yeah. All right, but I mean,
performative gestures are not in and of themselves a bad thing, so I'm not going to completely diss it. I'm just going to sit here and be like, I don't even really like the name Cole, so.
Well, if there's nothing else to add on that, we'll move on to what we've been playing this week. There have been some interesting game time spent. I don't know.
Yeah.
What have you guys been playing?
Okay. I've been playing a lot of Destiny. So same old stuff. Been doing Trials a lot. So if you're not familiar with Trials, it's a 3v3 competitive game type where you get rewarded for winning. They recently did a lot of changes to it to where you don't necessarily have to win rounds, matches. You can win rounds and still lose and still earn rewards. So I mean, that's good for.
So you don't have to do that flawless thing where, like,
there's still a flawless thing. So if you go flawless, you obviously you get the flawless reward for the week. But before, if you got 3 losses on the card was done. You had to get a new one. Now there's no amount of losses that reset your card, and now they reward you for rounds won. So long as you're able to win a round here and there, you'll get rewarded for actually, taking part.
So that actually sounds like Overwatch, where you would have to win a certain number of times in the specific game type to, like, get whatever that loot box reward was for the week. That's what they're doing now.
They'll give you like an Ingram, a Trials Ingram, which can be decoded into any of the Trials weapons. Also, by playing, you level up the Trials vendor, which is Saint 14, and each time you level him up, you get he has a set of prizes in his will that you unlock. And also, they added a new game type. Well, not a new game type, but a new playlist where you can either go in to a solo queue where all the people you're fighting are winning as individuals and became part of a 3-man team. So that way you don't have to worry about putting a 3-man team together. You can go in solos and fight other solo players.
Also, you're on a team with other solos and the other team are solos. Okay.
And after each win, it resets. So if we beat that team or we lose against that team, you then go back to orbit and you go back in, so you get matched with another 3 random people.
Oh, so even if you're on like a good team, team gets scuttled after the match.
Now,
okay.
They can message each other if they had really good, teamwork or whatever, and then go into the other playlist, which is mostly teams and stuff. And then they can go into there. But this is mostly for...
That's an interesting way of doing that.
Yeah. I mean, it splits up the player base, but it also gives people another chance who don't want to have to worry about going onto to the app and looking for a team or trying to get 3 people together. You can just go in and kind of play. And it makes it a little bit easier for me, so I don't have to worry about finding people. I can just jump in and play with other people. So it's a lot more fun than it used to be. It's not as sweaty as it used to be.
The trials used to be real sweaty, super sweaty.
So it was fun. I played a little bit last night. I played a little bit last weekend, just to get back into the swing. And it was, like I said, it was a lot of fun. Right now they have their Festival of the Lost going on, which is their Halloween event. So they got a bunch of Halloween themed stuff going on. So that's been pretty fun. Aside from Destiny, I played some Dread. I'm playing some Dread and some Mario Kart, but giving my Switch a little bit more love. Other than that, I just watched Batman: The Long Halloween, which is a 2-part Batman animated movie based on a couple different storylines. But The Long Halloween was really good. It tells the story of Harvey Dent, how he became Two-Face, and some other stuff. It was a great, obviously Halloween time. It was a great watch for this time of the year, but it was also a very good Batman story. That's pretty much it. Oh, and Young Justice. Young Justice just started last week with DC Fandom. They dropped 2 episodes, and this week they dropped the 3rd episode. It's been really good. Not a lot of. There's been some story, but it hasn't been in a lot of different areas like previous seasons where it'll be here, they'll be there. Court of Maltese, they'll be over there. Here has been kind of in one location, but the story has been really good so far.
What season are they on right now? This new season is season 4?
Season 4, yeah.
All right, how many episodes was season 3? Because that was the one that we waited super long for them to bring back, right? But then it took super long for them to finish it.
Because what they did was they'll release like one episode a week, and then it was like when they got to like 10 episodes, it took a break. Mm-hmm. Because what happened was DC Universe didn't have enough content, so to stop people from kind of joining just to watch that and then leaving, they kind of took a hiatus and then came back. I think it came back in it went off at I want to say March and came back in June, and then I think it wound up having I want to say either 20. No, that sounds like a lot more than I'm thinking. I want to say it was like 13 or 15 episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
Because I can't remember where I stopped, but I don't think I watched up until they took their break because I was actually very bored with season 3. But I like that show a lot before season 3, and the fact that you were saying they started kind of bringing some of those older characters back and telling a more focused story. I probably will jump back in and see how that resolves.
Yeah, the newer characters weren't super interesting, especially because they felt we had 2 seasons of the everyone else. We didn't get to see where they were or what was going on with them so much, and then you throw these new people in. It's
it was basically a different show for most of the
right.
most of that season.
Now later in the season, it starts to pick up with some of the older characters, but this season starts with a couple familiar characters that you've known for a while, and it's not many people being shown right now. It's hard to explain without saying anything, but when you watch it, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about.
All right, cool. Anybody else been playing, gaming, watching, reading?
Oh yeah. I got to play some Dino Crisis on my stream before my capture card decided to quit.
Oh no!
And that's a cool game. And it's on my to-do list to order a new capture card today so I can play it again. I beat that Dietlit in Wonder Labyrinth game that I've been playing that I started.
Oh, nice! Yeah, that game looks fire.
Yeah, I beat it. It's awesome. Beginning to end. I wish I would have been able to do a review of it because I don't really have a complaint about it. It's fantastic. It's so good. One of the best games I played this year, easily.
Damn.
Yeah. and we got it for the game night. That was me, Marty, and Jamate. That we got Dead by Daylight. That's fun.
Right.
I was very skeptical.
You seem to be like the only person who felt that way, though.
You know, I thought they were having fun playing it, but I think they were just having fun playing it as a group as opposed to having fun with the game.
Right.
Which is cool because, you know, it's fun to play silly games with friends and like to have a good time with it. Foreshadowing into the GTA discussion. But I want to play it some more. I want to give it a shot. It seems really cool.
I do know that there are a lot of people who are fans of that game. Like, I don't get it, but like there are folks who exclusively are just Dead by Daylight players and streamers and whatever. Yeah. I've not played it. I've watched a good amount of it because, like I said, like there are streamers that we know, like from like the Open Party and Urban Anime Lounge or whatever, who just play that game, and like I've sat and watched them, and like this doesn't look like a thing I want to do.
It's another one of those. They had a Jason game that came out that was kind of similar to it, where I think it was a little bit more. I haven't played much of Dead by Daylight, so this is just purely off of what I've seen as well. The Jason game seemed a little bit more interactive, to where you were the camp counselors. You had to run from Jason. I think you had to get to like a phone or some crap like that. Like it's another one of those, 4 people versus one. Like remember we played Resident Evil and you played as the
yeah. It's like
the mastermind.
Yeah. It's in that vein of what I've been calling them hide and seek games. Like they allow you to do a little bit more than just hide, but that is kind of the gist. It's like what tactics games did for chess. They just complicate the rules even further.
Yeah, a game that is designed to be messed around with by a group of friends.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah. And I also, because it's Halloween, we've been watching some movies. Or October, I should say. It's Halloween month. Like, that's the thing. 2 movies. 1. I'll start with this one. Have you seen Jason X?
Yes.
I don't think I have.
I
haven't.
The kind of like futuristic one?
Yeah, where it's freaking 2445 or whatever, and Jason is unfrozen on a spaceship.
In space, yep.
Yeah. Look.
I have heard of it.
It is delightful. It is this. It has like a 19 on Rotten Tomatoes or something. Like it's a trash movie. But when I say I love garbage, this is what I'm talking about. Because I don't like slasher films. I don't find them very fun.
Same.
I'm pretty sure the pitch for this movie was someone saying, "Have you seen Alien?" And then like they greenlit it because it's basically them trying to do a corny Alien with Jason as the antagonist, but still have all the like murder people after having sex and like one-liners and stuff from freaking corny slasher movies. There's an android that fights Jason. It is amazing. I don't. If you like comedy, watch it. It's so funny. I understand why people who actually like Friday the 13th would hate it because it's a garbage movie that's absolutely camp comedy. But like, I loved it. It was delightful.
Honey Money asks Jason XXX.
You should check out.
That's a different movie.
The movies that made us. Check out the movies that made us, and they did like the first Friday the 13th. They kind of went how that came about. Super interesting. I never really care for Jason or slashers as well, but it was super interesting about how the movie came to be. Like there was literally really no script for the people who were involved in the movie. Like they were just making stuff on as they went along. Like the counselors and stuff. Like none of that was scripted. They were just making stuff up.
As someone who tried to watch the first Friday the 13th movie, that makes sense. It seems like they didn't know what they were doing. Okay. That's really interesting. I find, I don't like slashers like yours, just like you, but like the history of that kind of stuff is super interesting.
True.
Were you about to say something, or should I say the other movie?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. if you want an actually good horror movie, like a good drama that is also a horror movie, we watched Inhuman Kiss. That is spectacular in the complete opposite end of the spectrum of Jason X.
I've never even heard that title before. Inhuman Kiss?
Yes. It is oh shoot. Hang on, let me look it up for its oh gosh. I gotta type the right word in if I'm gonna get
We're all going to IMDb.
yeah.
What is this he speaks of?
It's Thai. So watch it with subtitles.
Oh.
I think it only has subtitles. But like it's a really good folklore horror movie. It's listed as like a romantic horror movie.
So it's like The Shape of Water.
I haven't seen Shape of Water, but probably, yeah. So
that movie's stupid in my opinion.
Okay. But it's really good. It is a really good drama that deals with a lot of like folklore horror stuff. Specifically with a Krasu, which is a type of like vampire thing, which is when a woman's head, who is a Krasu, at night breaks off from her body, freaking floats around, has like intestine tendrils and stuff, sucks the blood out of things, and then reattaches to the body after feeding. It's wild. It's a really good movie. I highly recommend it.
All right, so watch that if you never want to sleep again. All right,
I
cool.
was looking at pictures of it and like, interesting. Doesn't
It's
look like
good.
anything I've seen before.
It's a solid movie. Body might says, like women do.
Yeah. Can confirm.
I knew about the Karas beforehand, but there's also a male version named like a I forget. It's a longer word and harder to pronounce, which is also in the movie.
Cool. So, if you want to learn about some Thai monsters, it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Fun.
They got cool monsters.
Not the same, but makes me think of The Strain, which was really good as well.
That was that vampire TV show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who loved that book series.
That was based on a book?
Mm-hmm. I think Guillermo del Toro helped write the books or something. I think he had something to do with the books as well.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, there's no way to confirm that, so just take that information with a grain of salt.
Yeah. I believe you, Jesse. I believe you.
Well, now I gotta look it up, see if I'm just spreading lies over here.
But does that do it for your played and watch,
Invest
Jesse?
in everything horror related. Yeah.
It is written by Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan.
Nice.
Yeah, sick one. Yeah.
Yeah. What? I just wanted confirmation. That's all.
3 points for Jesse. Yeah. Nice.
There are no points on this show, by the way. It's not that kind of show.
Aw. I don't get crowns for being right.
You hit negative points, you go to the Shadow Realm. That's what happened.
Oh no.
That's just murder, I heard. But I guess I'll go next because I don't have that much. I did watch Dune yesterday or the day before yesterday.
How
because it came
was